Legendary singer Bobby Goldsboro was once a name that dominated every music chart, a multi-talented artist who seemed capable of turning everything he touched into gold. Yet behind the sweet melodies of Honey and the gentle smile seen on television was a life filled with painful twists and turns. From dreams crushed by physical limitations to shadows from the past that nearly erased him from the public's memory. Bobby Goldsboro was born in 1941 in the sun-soaked state of Florida and spent his teenage years in Dothan. Few people know that before becoming a musical icon, young Bobby's heart belonged entirely to running tracks and baseball fields. Bobby dreamed of becoming a professional athlete, giving everything he had beneath the bright lights of major stadiums. Tragically, however, that dream was suffocated early by a harsh reality. His physical build was considered far too small for the brutal standards of professional sports. As one door closed, another destiny-filled path opened before him. At the age of 12, Bobby unexpectedly discovered the ukulele. Almost instinctively, he taught himself how to play, experimenting and learning on his own, soon realizing that his fingers had been born to glide across strings rather than grip a baseball glove. When he later switched to the guitar, music was no longer a passing hobby. It became his reason for living, the only path through which the small-framed teenager could prove himself to the world. From those early emotional connections with chords and melodies, Bobby began laying the very first bricks of a musical empire that would one day captivate the entire world. The opportunity that propelled Bobby Goldsboro toward greatness did not begin with a glamorous recording contract, but with a dramatic rescue moment at Auburn University. When legendary singer Roy Orbison suddenly dismissed his backing band just before a performance, Bobby and his group, Spider and the Webs, delivered such an impressive performance that they were invited to become Orbison's official backing band for the next 3 years. The period between 1962 and 1964 became Bobby's true university, where he not only learned how to command a stage from the masters themselves, but also witnessed firsthand the rise of some of the greatest music empires in history. During those international tours, the young man from Alabama crossed paths with many kindred spirits behind the scenes. Bobby was reportedly the one who sincerely advised John Lennon to wear contact lenses instead of painfully squinting on stage due to severe nearsightedness, helping the future legend of the Beatles feel more confident in his image as an artist. And during the Rolling Stones' first American tour, Bobby sat down with Keith Richards and taught him a special guitar chord, a small technique that would later contribute to shaping the Stones' unmistakable guitar sound. Those years spent side by side with Roy Orbison transformed Bobby into a versatile artist, helping him fully understand the anatomy of a hit song while preparing him mentally to step out from the shadows and conquer heights so great that even his own mentors would one day admire him. When Bobby Goldsboro decided to pursue a solo career in 1964, he carried with him all the priceless experience he had gained from years of touring the world. Success arrived almost immediately when his debut hit, See the Funny Little Clown, sold more than 1 million copies, establishing him as one of music's brightest rising stars. What followed was an astonishing streak of consistency rarely matched during that era, with 29 consecutive singles reaching the Billboard Hot 100 charts. Bobby was not merely a singer, he became a symbol of professionalism and reliability in the music industry. Yet all of those achievements seemed only to pave the way for the explosive success of the global masterpiece known as Honey in 1968. It was a haunting ballad, telling the heartbreaking story of a man coping with the sudden death of his young wife. At a time when the world was consumed by energetic rock music and the hippie movement, Honey quietly entered listeners' hearts through its sincerity and overwhelming sorrow. The song achieved an unprecedented feat by simultaneously reaching #1 on the pop, country, and adult contemporary charts. The impact of Honey became so enormous that it ended up as the best-selling single in the world in 1968, outselling even releases from the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, the very giants Bobby had once shared stages with. Selling more than 5 million copies worldwide, the song brought him not only wealth and fame, but also transformed Bobby Goldsboro into a household name. Yet this dazzling peak also became a bittersweet curse, casting such a massive shadow over the rest of his career that every future effort would inevitably be compared to the overwhelming weight of that legendary hit. The success of Honey did not merely establish Bobby Goldsboro as a singer, it transformed him into a complete entertainment icon of the 1970s. Capitalizing on his elegant appearance and charming conversational style, he became the host of his own variety program, The Bobby Goldsboro Show, from 1973 to 1975. It was far more than a simple music show. It became a television phenomenon with the highest ratings in its category for nearly an entire decade. Audiences adored the way he guided conversations, the warmth of his smile, and the way he brought heartfelt country melodies into American living rooms, making him feel like a trusted friend every time families switched on their televisions. However, Bobby's ambition and vision extended far beyond the spotlight. Quietly, he built a powerful business empire in the heart of Nashville called House of Gold Music. The company became both a creative powerhouse and a publishing home for countless classic songs, including the timeless masterpiece Wind Beneath My Wings, later immortalized through the film Beaches and forever associated with Bette Midler. As a songwriter, Bobby earned 27 prestigious BMI awards, while his compositions were recorded by legendary artists such as Aretha Franklin, Johnny Cash and Dolly Parton. At the height of his career, Bobby Goldsboro was not simply a star. He was a true music mogul, holding the keys to melodies capable of moving millions of hearts. Yet the brighter the summit, the deeper the abyss beneath it. As the music world began shifting toward entirely new sounds, Bobby found himself confronting the ruthless passage of time, along with a devastating personal blow capable of destroying everything. The cruelty of fame lies in its endless demand for reinvention, while Bobby Goldsboro gradually became a prisoner of the very style that had elevated him to greatness. As the 1970s progressed, the music industry underwent a rebellious transformation with the explosive rise of disco and the raw intensity of hard rock. The gentle ballads and reflective storytelling that had once defined Bobby suddenly felt out of place amidst glittering dance floors and roaring electric guitars. Younger audiences began searching for more stimulating sounds, leaving behind the gifted artist whose music focused on emotional reflection and life's quieter truths. The enormous shadow cast by Honey gradually became a merciless curse, causing every later work Bobby released to be compared relentlessly against his greatest triumph. Although he continued writing and performing tirelessly, the public seemed interested only in reliving his glorious past rather than embracing his artistic evolution. The turning point came shockingly early. Summer, the first time, became the final Bobby Goldsboro song to enter the top 40 charts. At only 32 years old, an age when many artists are just reaching creative maturity, the door to global hitmaking quietly closed behind him, leaving a once mighty music empire slowly gathering dust in the shadows of time. Yet even the rejection of the charts was nothing compared to the terrifying storm that was about to erupt from within his own home. A shocking scandal was on the verge of exploding, tearing apart the good guy image and destroying the reputation of the model gentleman Bobby had spent his entire life building. The downfall of an icon sometimes comes not from fading talent, but from deep fractures in character being exposed under the harsh light of justice. For Bobby Goldsboro, who had once been viewed by millions of American homemakers as the ideal husband and father through warm-hearted songs like Watching Scotty Grow, the events of 1982 felt nothing less than a death sentence for his honor. The collapse of his 20-year marriage to Mary Alice Watson marked the beginning of a brutal legal battle, one in which the darkest corners hidden behind the curtain of fame began to surface. The nightmare reached its peak during a courtroom hearing in 1983, an event that shocked public opinion around the world at the time. Right there in court, his eldest daughter, then only 17 years old, testified under oath with accusations that left everyone present stunned in disbelief. Through tears, she claimed that her father had sexually abused both her and one of her close friends 5 years earlier. This betrayal was not only a devastating wound within the family, but also a cultural shock for the public, who had always believed in the wholesome good guy image Bobby had carefully cultivated. The situation grew even darker when the court investigation reportedly uncovered a collection of illegal explicit materials involving minors in Goldsboro's possession. Although he was never arrested or criminally prosecuted afterward due to legal procedural complications and statutes of limitation at the time, the moral cost was immeasurable. The court stripped him of custody of his youngest daughter, a ruling that felt like the final blow severing his connection to the image of the perfect family man. Suddenly, his songs about the sacred bond between father and child took on a painfully bitter irony in the eyes of the audience. This scandal not only destroyed his once thriving television career, but also turned the name Bobby Goldsboro into something almost untouchable within the entertainment industry. People no longer saw a gifted artist with a gentle smile. Instead, they saw a man haunted by dark secrets that had shattered the lives of those closest to him. From the heights of admiration, Bobby plunged into the abyss of public rejection, abandoned by audiences and quietly erased from major industry projects. It was a complete collapse of reputation, forcing the artist who had once outsold even the Beatles to retreat from public view in deep humiliation. After the shattered pieces of his reputation and family life came crashing down, Bobby Goldsboro chose to withdraw entirely from the unforgiving spotlight in search of redemption within the world of imagination. He began a second life, quiet yet deeply creative, as though trying to use color and innocent storytelling to fill the dark emptiness the scandal had left behind. Bobby poured all of his remaining energy into creating content for children, a decision that surprised many people, yet became the place where he found an unusual sense of comfort. He did not simply write stories, he also became an animation producer, most notably through the Disney project Easter Egg Morning. Not stopping there, he passionately created the PBS series The Swamp Critters of Lost Lagoon. In that project, Bobby became almost a one-man creative force, personally handling everything from script writing and composing music to voicing most of the characters himself. It was as though, hidden behind puppets and animated figures, Bobby had finally found a world where he was no longer judged, a place where he could begin again among innocent souls untouched by the pain of the adult world. Alongside the world of animation, Bobby also revealed another natural talent that had long been overshadowed by his musical fame: painting. He became a professional wildlife and landscape artist with astonishing dedication and focus. His paintings were not merely representations of nature, but carried an unusual sense of stillness, reflecting the inner state of a man desperately trying to regain balance after the storm. Over time, his work earned recognition and appeared in respected exhibitions, opening a new chapter in which he was defined not by hit songs or accusations, but by careful brushstrokes and a deep love for the timeless beauty of nature. As the years passed, the noise of the past slowly faded, leaving behind an aging Bobby Goldsboro burdened with a legacy suspended between glory and bitterness. Yet while time has the power to soften wounds, it can also cover even the brightest triumphs with dust. For Bobby Goldsboro, the later years of his life became a strange mixture of delayed recognition and the loneliness of a man who had chosen a life away from the world. In 1999, he was inducted into the Alabama Music Hall of Fame, a deserved acknowledgement of his enormous contributions to popular music, yet the ceremony also felt like one of the rare occasions on which the public saw the smile of the once brilliant artist again. Today, at the age of 85, Bobby Goldsboro lives a quiet life in Florida with his second wife, Diane Roberts. He has almost completely separated himself from the entertainment world, filled with controversy and public scrutiny. His home no longer echoes with the applause of massive crowds, but instead with the silence surrounding unfinished landscape paintings and memories of a golden era long gone. He lives simply, far away from media attention, as though trying to protect the fragile peace he still has left for himself and the loved ones who remain beside him. Looking back at Bobby Goldsboro's entire journey, one sees a portrait filled with painful contrasts. It is the story of a man who rose to the highest peaks of fame, surpassing even giants to capture the hearts of millions, only to fall into the depths of rejection and shadows from the past that could never truly be erased. Although the scandals of his private life permanently stained the wholesome image he once embodied, no one can deny the enduring power of the music he created. Even today, whenever the melody of Honey begins to play, listeners can still feel its heartbreaking sorrow. Proof that while the artist himself may fade into obscurity, his music continues to live on, continuing to move and comfort kindred souls in this ever-changing world. The story of Bobby Goldsboro closes like a song filled with soaring notes of glory and dark, haunting verses of fate. It serves as a powerful reminder that behind every gifted genius, behind every radiant smile on screen, there is always a human being made of flesh and blood, carrying hidden corners capable of breaking anyone's heart. What do you think about this turbulent journey? Between extraordinary talent and a deeply complicated personal life, where do you believe fairness truly lies when judging a legend? Share your thoughts below so we can discuss the painful contrast between fame and reality in the lives of artists. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss future stories about other mysterious legendary lives.